Welcome to Game Master Monday, the podcast that plays a new one-shot in a new system with a new cast every episode. I'm your facilitator today, Supriya or Zoo. You can call me either. We are playing Nighthawks by Lex Kim Bobro, who publishes under Titanomachy RPG. Players, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Ross. My pronouns are he, him, and I'll be playing Oliver Magsino.
Hi, I'm Rosalie. Today I will be playing Valerie Bartles, who uses she, they pronouns. I, Rosie, use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Siobahn. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I'm playing Fifer Owens, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Tatiana. My pronouns are she, they, and I will be playing Carmen Sharp, whose pronouns are also she, they.
We are playing Nighthawks. And Nighthawks is a game about loneliness. It is based on the painting Nighthawks of some people in a diner. Look it up online if you haven't seen it before. But it is a game about loneliness and connecting. There may be things in this game about loneliness, mental health. There might be existential dread. So just want to give you a warning that that's this type of game that we're going to be playing. My 4 players are going to be playing 4 people in a diner, and our scenes occur every night. And a night in this game can refer to like an actual, like every Saturday night or every night for a week, or it could refer to like 100 years. It doesn't really matter. It depends on where you are setting your game. But in our game, we are going to be setting it in a diner in a fairly realistic world. The diner has some tags that we may call out to as a way of moving the plot forward. And each of our characters has at least one wound and at least one way they're trying to heal that wound when they come to this diner. They have 4 actions of which they can do every night. One is daydream, reach out, withdraw, or keep going, and they will decide which one that they want to do, and a scene will be played out based on that. Let us set the scene. You are traveling down a darkened street, but there's actually orange and purple lights hanging everywhere. You see jack-o'-lanterns on some of the doorways to residential areas. You hear the cackling of a witch. In case you haven't guessed, it is Halloween, and we are zooming through streets, and we are zooming towards a corner shop of a building, apartments above, and in that corner shop it looks like it's a diner, and there are green leather booths, tables that are plastic but painted to look wooden. It's a little beaten down, definitely not recently remodeled. We find our 4 characters in this diner. Maddie, the waitress, comes out on this night, and she's just wearing a cute little witch pin to let you know that she knows that it's Halloween.
Oliver Magsino actually isn't in the diner at this moment. He starts to rush in. There's a kind of maybe a momentary but very notable kind of rain shower that occurs, and when he runs in, he's soaking wet, holding a big, a child-size ankylosaurus costume that's all ripped up and beaten up, and he has a lanyard with maybe a corporate ID or something tucked away in his shirt pockets. He runs in and wipes the water and slicks back his hair. He's a fairly tall, kind of darker chocolate brown skin with a mustache and a beard and thin metal glasses. He finds his way to a booth and kind of settles in. Looks over to Maddie and kind of signals for kind of his regular, while he puts the Ankylosaurus costume onto the table and a little sewing kit and starts to kind of fix it while keeping an eye on the time.
So what action are you taking?
I'm gonna do daydream.
Okay. What is your regular?
2 black coffees at the same time.
Okay, so Maddie goes into the back, pours you 2 cups of black coffee and brings it out. And while she does that, what are you thinking about?
He's really distracted by trying to fix this costume. The Ankylosaurus is kind of like if a dinosaur was a tank with a club tail. That's kind of the vibe of this costume. And his daydream is half his memory, trying to remember how his mom talked about sewing, like how to do a knot, where to start, and try not to start here or it'll fray. And his mind jumps from that to this image of a young boy, maybe 7 or 8, wearing this costume, going trick-or-treating. It's really cloudy in his mind, both weather and kind of vision. But it's this kind of jumbled back and forth between this his memory of his mother and the memory of this child.
As you sit there remembering, in the window you see a group of Power Rangers walk by. White, black, red, green, and yellow.
Oliver says, "No blue? Blue's the best, man." Billy's the best. He says to himself.
Also in this diner is a woman wearing all black. She has dyed black hair. She's wearing a oversized sweater that's like a loose black yarn crochet. Her thumbs are stuck through the holes in the sleeves. Who knows if they were designed that way, or it's just that the sleeves in this sweater are just so long and the knit is so loose she can do that. And she's working away at a sketchbook on the table in front of her. I think she's probably at a booth by herself.
And what action would you like to take?
I think that I will also daydream here.
And what are you thinking about?
The plans that she originally had for this Halloween. She, was gonna do this big Halloween party with all of her friends, and instead she's here looking out the window at the rainy street in the diner. There seems to be she seems to be a woman who would normally enjoy Halloween, like a woman dressed in all black who dyes her hair black, but she's just here alone, relatively clean face, no makeup, just sketching quietly to herself.
2 children in Minions outfits run by outside.
comes into the diner, also dressed in all black, but in a very different way. She is wearing scrubs, and you can see she has her hospital ID clipped to the side of her sleeve. She does have a bit of a jacket on to shield her hair from the rain, takes the hood down. You can see her hair is just pulled back, very simple ponytail, very basic makeup, worn off in a way that signifies this person is probably finished with work for the night. But it is Halloween, and her coworker has kids who need to go trick-or-treating, so we are just off for the government mandated number of hours before we head back for our next shift. Valerie is going to walk to also her usual table that she sits at, but she will, something gives her pause. What is Fifer drawing in that notebook specifically?
Across the street, there's a stoop with a pumpkin that's already started to rot a little too early.
She will kind of stop and glance, confirm that you're not wearing headphones, and then just make the comment, usually they decorate a lot more across the street there. They didn't really make it that interesting this year to make it a bit of a study, but...
Yeah, I guess they put out their decorations a little too early. Planned a little too soon.
Yeah, usually pumpkins last a little longer, though. I think the wet weather and stuff is making it worse.
It's been unseasonably warm.
And humid and wet. I think it's gonna stop soon here.
Yeah, I forgot my umbrella, so I'm waiting it out.
Okay. I hope it stops by the time you finish your meal.
Do you feel, between the two of you, did the scene end positively, neutrally, or negatively?
I think it's neutral.
Yeah, I agree.
Normally, at the end of the scene, I would have Rosie, in this case, roll 1d4 minus 1 to lose that many tokens, but you cannot have negative tokens, so we will move on to Tot.
In the diner, there sits a young woman. She has this sort of long, curling, russet, red-brown hair, which sweeps over her shoulders, acting almost like a curtain, almost a shield that she's using to keep attention off of herself, which is counterintuitive to what she's meant to be doing. She's been sitting in this diner for hours, just trying to work up the courage to talk to someone, anyone besides the perfectly nice waitress who's come over several times asking if she's wanted anything more than hot chocolate and a croissant. And the pit in Carmen's stomach is just so constantly roiling that she fears she won't be able to keep anything else down. And she deeply envies this nurse who has just come in and immediately made conversation with this artist who Carmen has seen in the diner for a while now and has been trying to work up the courage to talk to, and just hasn't been able to. And then this nurse has come in and just so easily spoken to this person.
So what action does Carmen take?
I think in this moment, Carmen withdraws.
You neither gain nor lose tokens, but your connection die, which started at 2, ticks down by 1. So your connection is a 1. The connection die, it represents where you are in the cycle of giving and taking comfort and an attempt to pierce the loneliness. So as you manage to connect with characters, your connection die will hopefully go up, and at times when it goes down, it signifies you withdrawing a little bit. If you hit a 0 on your connection die, you lose the ability to reach out for a little while. Maddie, seeing that Carmen has been sitting for so long, not even able to finish their hot chocolate and croissant, she comes by and pulls out from her apron and puts down a packet of crackers and a cup of ginger ale, just in case.
That's brilliant. You didn't have to do that. That's very nice.
Just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And that ends night 1. The curtain closes on this night and opens again on... Is it another night? Let's find out. Maddie, the waitress, walks out, and she is wearing a little black witch's cap. Other than that, she's dressed normally, but she's got the witch's hat on.
Valerie walks in the door, takes the hood off of her rain jacket that she had on over her black scrubs, her hair up in the ponytail, pauses in the doorway and blinks almost like she's shaking something off, and goes and sits in her usual table. But she pauses at an empty table, an empty booth that doesn't have anyone sitting in it yet. Shakes her head a little bit again as if like, come on, get yourself together. Sits down, opens up her planner, and she is going to daydream. Pediatrics department is the only one that really gets to dress up. Everybody else just has to wear their standard uniform. And this year that department decided all of the nurses coordinated to do Winnie the Pooh characters. You know, they still wore their scrubs, but Pooh had a red top and yellow bottoms, and it was so cute. And there were some people who made some comments about how it wasn't the most professional. And she's sitting there and she's thinking about how dang cute that was and how some of the kids really liked it, but then she remembers how some of the parents didn't. Because these kids aren't able to go out and trick or treat. Why are you rubbing it in their faces? And she writes down her goals for the week.
Any particular goal that is important that we should know? Peeking over your shoulder?
Getting her steps in.
As we finish peering over Valerie's shoulder, we look out the window and we see 5 Power Rangers go by. There's the pink one, the blue one, the green one, the white one, and the black one.
No red?
Carmen feels a little weird. Walking into the diner. It was probably her mistake, right? You know, the Halloween season, all of it just blurs together a little bit, you know. Sometimes she used to think Halloween was actually on the 25th, and that was just a whole other mess because then she thought she missed it, but it's only on the 31st. So if it's Halloween today, then yesterday must have just been the 30th. And, you know, some parents like to take their kids trick-or-treating a day early so that, you know, it doesn't interfere with school. And, you know, sometimes she can't really blame them for that. Halloween night can be a lot sometimes. So, props to the parents who take their kids trick-or-treating a day early. It keeps everybody safe. But she walks into the diner, and she sees that everything is still all decorated and nice, and she sees that the nurse is here again. The nurse seems nice. She was talking to the artist yesterday, so maybe she would be nice. Carmen's gonna kind of swallow thickly, kind of bundle herself up in her sweater a bit more, and she's going to approach this nurse, and I'm going to reach out. Hello.
Oh, hi, is this your spot?
No. Sorry, I've practiced this. Hello, my name is Carmen. I have agoraphobia, and as part of my treatment, I am supposed to introduce myself to one new person every day. And you seem really nice. So I was wondering if I could buy you a coffee and you could tell me about your day.
Only if I can buy you a slice of pie. Do you like pie? Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Val. It's
Val.
great that you're getting out and doing this even tonight.
I didn't have any other plans. I don't really, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit of a coward. Halloween's not really...
You're being very
For me.
brave right now, in that case.
Thank you. You shouldn't say too many nice things to me or I will cry.
I'll try not to, but I usually don't say mean things to people I just met. Do you want to sit down?
That would be really nice.
You can go ahead and sit down. Wave down, Maddie.
Maddie somehow already knows, and she brings a coffee and a slice of rhubarb pie.
Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you, Maddie. See, you already knew Maddie.
Mm-hmm. I come here a lot. I live nearby. And I know a lot of people come here, so it felt like a good place to try and talk to people. But every time I've come, I've been too shy. But I'm trying.
Trying's what matters. And there's so many cute kids just running past you. I didn't think this was a neighborhood for trick-or-treating. Some people get weird about letting their kids walk on like business streets because there's too many cars, and but when I was a kid, different businesses would give out different candies and stuff. If you went to the Take and Bake pizza place, they would have cookie dough, and you got free cookie dough.
Whoa. Well, I guess they do make Halloween cookies.
Well,
so that makes sense.
the cookie dough wasn't Halloween themed. It was just their sweet thing that they sold there, right?
I think that's good enough. And not everything has to be Halloween themed. Not everybody likes Halloween. And I know a lot of people like Halloween, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't like Halloween. I know that I'm the weird one in this particular scenario. But it is nice when there are alternatives offered to the holiday, I guess. But I was going to ask you about your day. You're a nurse?
Oh, yeah. I'm covering for urology right now. It's not that pleasant to talk about.
What's urology?
Urine.
Oh. I'm very sorry.
It needs to be done. Doctors have a good sense of humor about it.
I think you have to with that kind of a job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you seem like you have a good sense of humor about it, too.
Yeah. I'm just trying to... Gotta be done. Trying to keep my mind... Keeping busy is good. Keeping busy is good. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't do something you enjoy, may as well do something that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Thank you again for the pie. That was very
Thank you
nice.
for the coffee. I can't believe we haven't talked before. I come here all the time too. Well, it's kind of at weird times, but she checks her Fitbit just to make sure that she's going to be on time for her next shift still.
Yeah, well, maybe we can talk more sometime.
Yeah.
And as the scene closes, do you feel that scene ended positively?
I think so. Yeah,
Something tells me yes.
It was a little, I'm not gonna lie, for Val it was a little hinky there for a bit. But overall positive, I think.
Well, Carmen, please go ahead and roll me 1d4 minus 1.
That's a 4, so that's 3 tokens.
It seemed to have been raining earlier during the day. The big puddles are on the streets, and you see Oliver in a button-up with his lanyard hanging low, not in his pocket, but just on his chest, holding a ripped-up Ankylosaurus costume. And just before he enters the door, a car whooshes by and splashes a giant wave of water onto him. And he's soaked again. And he walks in, just trying to wipe the water out of his hair, and he moves his way to his normal seats and waves down Maddie, the regular, please, as he lays the Ankylosaurus costume onto the table and takes out a sewing kit and begins to work on it.
And what action would you like to take?
I'm going to take the daydream action again. Oliver thinks back to how his mom used to sew, tips that she would use, the metal cookie tin that housed all the needles and thread and scissors that was used to repair his ripped up clothes. Tries to recall the tips that she gave him to start here, the kind of knots to use, the kind of stitch to do. And his memory goes back to a little boy wearing this Ankylosaurus costume. They seem to be trick-or-treating, and it's raining. He's worried. This little boy seems worried about his costume getting soaked. His mom works so hard on it. But he picks up the Ankylosaurus club tail, so it's not dragging on the ground, and has some heft to it. He specifically asked it to be kind of heavy, so he can feel like an Ankylosaurus. And he just continues on, determined to get more candy.
Every time someone daydreams, they gain a token, so go ahead and gain a token. As you sit there, kind of thinking about this, fingering like a sewing kit, you look out the window just in time to see 2 minions walk by.
He looks up from his sewing and he goes, banana. He goes back to do what he's doing.
Maddie, in her black witch's hat, comes over with 2 cups of black coffee that she's just poured and puts them on. takes a minute to look at your costume and then nods to you.
When Fifer enters, we see that she has a umbrella with her. It's a clear umbrella that has a black spiderweb design on it. And her hair looks a little bit less in her face, maybe because it didn't get rained on today. She's still wearing a black dress with a casual black dress with a loose knit crocheted black sweater over it. And she enters the diner, shaking off her umbrella. I think this time she'll sit at the counter instead of a booth, and she'll actually speak to Maddie more than just the thank you, and I'll have this please. Actually, doing her best to try to make a conversation. That's a fun hat.
Oh, thank you. It just came in the mail yesterday.
What good timing.
Yeah, I ordered it at the beginning of October, and it's just, I don't know why it took so long to get here.
That's nice that the planning for that worked out.
Yeah, I was, I don't know, if it hadn't come in, I think I would have just worn a pin or something. What can I get for you, darling?
Black tea. Side of eggs, please.
Black tea and a side of eggs. Do you want that scrambled, hard, over easy?
Over easy, please.
Over easy. She turns to the camera. My least favorite way to make it. She turns back.
She has an internal monologue. Whoa.
Wow.
So, you're not headed to a party?
I think she looks dour at that, frowning, and she reaches into her bag and pulls out her sketchbook. No, I have other plans tonight.
Oh, you're sketching. Do you have a idea of what to sketch in mind?
I've been focusing on still lifes lately.
Okay, I was gonna say if you wanted to do my picture, but
that hat is inspiring.
Oh, okay. And she takes the hat off and puts it down on the counter, and then takes an apple and puts it right next to it and winks at you, and she leaves. And I think that ended positively, in my opinion.
I agree.
So go ahead and roll 1d4 minus 1.
Right, that's a 2 on the die, so a 1.
Okay, so you get 1 token. Maddie puts back on the witch's hat once Fifer seems to be done drawing, and the curtains close. You see the street with the purple and orange lights and the pumpkins. You hear the witch's cackle. Maddie comes out and she has whiskers drawn onto her face, and she is wearing a cute pair of cat ears, and she's got a little tail thing going on today.
Tonight, we see Fifer at the counter again. She's drawing again. She's maybe like a little bit more put together, not just like thrown on kind of clothes. The big difference being that she's actually done her makeup for the first time this week, so she's wearing black lipstick. Or not this week, but this several set of days, right? It's been the same night every night.
It might be the first time this week. This day just happens to keep happening.
Yeah, going first here, it's interesting to use the move keep going, where you call on your connections with others, as like she's only talked to 2 other people in here. but I would like to do that. This time, her body language is open. I think she's pulled her hair like past her shoulders, so you can see that she's not wearing earbuds. You don't have to check; it's just obvious. She's like, maybe she's moved on to her second sketch, and she had a conversation with Maddie about what to draw next. She's just trying to be really open. So I have 2 tokens, which means I get to roll as many d4s as I have tokens, and my highest number rolled determines what happens next. And I rolled a 1 and a 2. So a 2 is a partial failure. Your connection die ticks down by 1.
What is going on in Fifer's head based on this partial failure?
Even as she's trying, to move forward, time is still standing still. It's still the same night. The sketches she's done from the previous nights are not in that notebook. She's been drawing on the same page every day. And I think that is wearing on her. She's still doing this night alone in a diner while she's talking to the person who, has a vested interest in being friendly. And I think she's maybe thinking about that too much. And, still seeing people go outside, go by, having a Halloween, and they're in groups of 2 or groups of varying numbers of Power Rangers. And she's here alone.
As that's going on through your head, 5 Power Rangers walk past the window. Blue, green, red, pink, and yellow.
Valerie is already in the diner here. She sat at her usual table. Something's hinky. She opened up her planner this morning, and the to-do list, her goals for the week were not set yet. It's today. Halloween is on a Monday this year. Some of the people took their kids trick-or-treating on Sunday so that it wouldn't interfere with school, blah, 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 blah. It was the start of a new week, and she knows during the break between her 2 shifts, she had done her weekly goals. And they're not there anymore. And it's also still Halloween, and there's something up, and there is this gentleman sitting at that table, absolutely soaked to the bone. Why has Maddie not offered him a dish towel, at the very least? She doesn't know. He's still working on that costume. Do you need help?
Me?
Yes.
Actually, yeah. Do you want to sit? Not on the side, it's soaked, but please.
Yeah, okay.
I'd love some help.
Okay, awesome. Do you have safety? I have safety pins. She digs in her bag.
Yeah, Oliver flips the Ankylosaurus costume over. He's like, I don't actually know where this piece goes, and it looks like it's a leg, but it's not a leg. And then he looks to the pelvic area and he's like, no, that's not where it goes.
No.
And he looks around and he's like, I don't actually know where this piece kind of goes. Are you good at sewing? Sorry, I'm Oliver. By the way.
Valerie.
Valerie, yeah.
I've seen you here tonight? Before.
Maybe. I'm here a lot. Yeah, I'm here a lot. So.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Probably.
I sound crazy. I
No.
don't know where this goes. No, should we? Maybe it's like a spine? Is it like?
Yeah, it's pretty spiky.
What kind of dinosaur is this?
Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus. It's in the Cretaceous period. Really, a herbivore. Yeah, badass.
That's awesome.
He looks back down.
Do you have somewhere to be after this? You need to get this fixed now, right?
Yeah, no, I think getting it fixed is a priority.
I
for sure.
have 2 hours and 49 minutes. Let's go.
Cool. That sounds good. You know what? He turns it over and he's like, oh, the stuffing is. Hey, hold on. And he kind of reforms it, and it's actually the club part of the club tail. It's like, oh, it must have gotten messed up. Here, do you mind holding the end of the tail here? And as he passes you the end of the tail, you see his lanyard with the that corporate badge on it, but it actually says Dr. Oliver Megsino on it. And he says, thanks, Val. I really appreciate the assistance here. And he's starting to sew the club back onto the tail.
Valerie, I think, continues making small talk, honestly tries to get some more dinosaur facts out of this man. And then eventually, when there's a conversational lull and they still haven't figured out where that one piece goes, she just goes, so is this for your nephew, or?
Yeah, a really important kid in my life. Yeah. Sorry, I'd like to be friendly, but I also just met you.
No, that's okay.
So...
No, giving kids information to random people that you just met in a diner, weird. You should not tell people that information about kids.
And we're on the same page on that, but yeah.
I have some stickers. Do they like stickers?
They love stickers. Absolutely.
Yeah, she will pull out. You can see she has 2 different sheets. One is little pumpkins and ghosts and Halloween themed, and the other is just smiley faces.
Oliver is literally just kind of he kind of becomes hyper focused on them, and he's going back and forth and says, the happy face, please.
Okay, yeah.
Great. And you will go right here. Places it on the costume.
Do you feel like that ends the scene?
I think it's pretty positive.
Okay.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll.
I got a 2 on the D4, so that is 1 token gained.
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna keep going.
You're gonna keep going, yes. As you call on your connections with others and attempt to move forward based on the conversations that you've had, Maddie, in her cat costume, puts down a hot chocolate and a croissant. And please roll me 3d4.
Thanks, Maddie. Okay, that's a 4 and 2 3s.
Awesome. That is an absolute success. You feel heartened by your bonds. Your connection die ticks up by 2, bringing you to a 3. What is going on in your character's head based on this result?
We can see this sort of change in Carmen. Obviously, she's in the diner now, but as she had been walking into the diner, she passed Oliver and Val's table, and she had the courage to say, "Hi, Val," before going to her spot and waving, and just had very nice, friendly smile. She's met someone new, she's remembered their name, and she feels as though she has been remembered in turn. She doesn't have that sort of pit in her stomach anymore when she sits down. She manages to finish her croissant and is sipping on her hot chocolate comfortably. Things still feel a little weird. She doesn't think it's supposed to be Halloween anymore, but to her, it hasn't really been Halloween to begin with, because she doesn't really celebrate Halloween. Instead, she's gotten to just see everybody else get to do their Halloween stuff, and everybody else seems pretty happy, and she likes that everybody else seems happy. It's nice to see people instead of just being cooped up inside of her house.
As you feel the urge to keep going, to keep growing, outside 2 minions run by, and you see Maddie tuck away the crackers and the ginger ale.
Oh, hi everyone. I'm also in the diner. I'm in the corner having a grand slam. It's me, your producer, Grant, and I'm here to tell you about some upcoming exciting things that we're doing over here at Game Master Monday. For you see, we've got a whole bunch of live streams coming up, so I thought I'd hit the microphone and tell you about some of them because I think you're gonna want to hear about them. First off, I will be live over on Goodberry Cafe tomorrow, October 21st at 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be running a Ravenheim one-shot called A Ghost at Fahrenheim. I've converted everyone's favorite gothic mansion into a fairy bed and breakfast, and there is someone haunting the joint. Join me, Mia, aka Yosha, Ra, Casper the NB Ghost, and Rosatyrs, who you're hearing on this very episode, for A Ghost at Fahrenheim. This is a charity stream benefiting a court of trust and reimbursements as we raise money to help cover the legal fees for the performers who have suffered at the hands of Once Upon a Con. Again, that's tomorrow at Goodberry Cafe at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Twitch. Then, this Wednesday will be the grand return of our live miniseries Absurdia, being GM'd by our very own Jenny. The story picks up where we left off 2 weeks ago. One member of the party has been pawed, mice want cheese, bizarrities abound in Mobius, and you will not want to miss the final 2 parts of this series. We'll be live this Wednesday, the 22nd, with the big finale coming on the 29th. I've been told by the cast that the ending is absolutely incredible, and they refuse to tell me anything else about it. On Monday, October 27th, we'll be kicking it old school with the Millennium House, Shadowy Productions' newest show about 20-somethings doing the impossible, learning how to live as if it was 25 years ago. Yes, in the Millennium House, you can only use devices as new as the year 2000 and cannot reference anything past that year, or you will suffer consequences. Whoever can stay in the house the longest wins. This will be a Call of Cthulhu one-shot written and keepered by me, starring Anna Eliza from Hilarity Saves, Grace aka Ghostlight G, Adam Gonzalez from 5GMs in a Trenchcoat, TTRPG James, Tatiana Gefter, who you can also hear on this episode, and Mozzarella. This is yet another charity stream as we help Maz recoup some funds she lost for her big life-changing move. So join us on Monday, October 27th at 5 p.m. Pacific time to make our cast dance on camera. I'm not kidding. That's a donation tier. Thank you for putting up with my yapping. I have one more surprise for you, because starting in 2 weeks, we'll be starting our 6th Game Master Monday miniseries. Allow me to introduce you to American demigods.
This world is very similar to the one that you, my listener, know.
Your sign, sir, says if you do not abide by these principles you've listed, then you go to hell. I'd like to avoid that reality. So what makes you so sure of this fact?
Think about the boarded up shop. It's no longer boarded up.
Opportunity doesn't make plans. Opportunity goes where the wind takes them, where the people take them, whatever seems most interesting at the moment.
It is now a temple.
Maybe it's just her vibrant presence. Maybe it's the fact that her mother is a goddess, however minor of life, but they seem to swell, to be happier when she's around.
We know that the gods are everywhere.
I would rather take the risk than have you take that risk. I want you to take a different risk later on in life and have that chance.
A god is created by questioning.
I've seen the worst of what humanity has to offer. And I've seen the best. They all end up exactly where you are, and I ask them the same question. Knowing what you now know, where do you think you belong?
Help. Democracy is missing. Help.
American Demigods, a new Game Master Monday miniseries, coming November 3rd, everywhere you enjoy podcasts. We are psyched for American Demigods over here at the Game Master Monday Studios. That's going to be GM'd by our very own Zoop, who you're hearing on this episode. And it's going to star myself, Abby Yazzie, Diamond Lynn, Kendo Smith, and Norden Ali Kadir. I'm big excited about this series. It's been so much fun to record, and you're not going to want to miss it. No, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. Right? Alright, well, I've got a grand slam to get back to, so I'll let you get back to the rest of Nighthawks.
Oliver is now being helped by Val, and they're chatting and talking about their day and just kind of high level niceties, but it's niceties that weren't there before. Oliver thinks back to his mom and the way that whenever she lost her thimble, she would just wrap her thumb with extra thread to be even tougher. And it was showing Oliver how to do that, and he notices that he doesn't have that, so he starts wrapping his thumb with some extra thread. And his mind bounces between that scene and the scene of a little boy wearing an Ankylosaurus costume in the rain, holding the club tail, going door to door. His Halloween bag, which is just a pillowcase, is heavy. It's getting to a point where the tail is outweighed by this bag. But he's committed to making sure, one, to get the goods, but two, to make sure everybody sees the costume his mom made. It's raining. It's dark. There's a big splash of water, and he kind of gets turned around and he's not really sure. You think it's this way. It's got to be this way. And he starts walking down kind of a darker road.
Is that where you'd like to end your daydream?
Yep.
Please take 1 token. Maddie steps out with a yellow jacket, yellow pants, and she pulls a katana off of the counter and straps it to her back. She's wearing a blonde wig, and she gets ready to greet people this Halloween. Carmen, what action would you like to take?
I would like to reach out to Fifer, sort of that initial person that she had wanted to make a connection with in the beginning and then was too scared to do it. This time, Carmen sort of steels herself, bundles herself up in her sweater, and approaches Fifer wherever it is that she is sitting this time around.
She's at a booth again, seated at the window again.
Very reminiscent of that first day.
Yep.
And Carmen's gonna approach you, a bit shy still, but more confidence than she's shown in the past. Hi.
I think it takes her a second to realize that you were talking to her because she's actively drawing. But then she looks up and says, hello.
Hi, I'm Carmen. I have agoraphobia, and part of my treatment is that I've been tasked by my therapist to introduce myself to someone new every day. And I saw you've been here a lot, and you look really cool, so I'd love to meet you.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm Fifer.
Cool name.
Thank you. Yeah, I just, I don't know, they have nice windows here, I guess. Feel free to sit if you want.
Yeah, thank you. Can I buy you a coffee or something?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Are you here to eat dinner?
I'm here to, I guess do this, talk to people, but, it's a little weird lately, right? Like, it feels like...
Oh my god. Okay, good. Yeah.
Done this before. Okay, it's not just me. Sometimes I feel like it's just me. I feel like it's just me a lot of the time about a lot of different things, but this time I was like, surely it's not just me.
I don't think it's everyone, though. You know?
You're the first person I've asked, so...
Yeah. Everyone else seems like almost the same every day. And I've seen that you've been, like, sitting at different tables every day.
Mm-hmm.
Is it working? I mean, it's fine if it's, you know, progress is slow or whatever, but...
Yeah, my therapist always says stuff like, progress isn't linear and stuff like that, which is true, but it sucks.
Yeah, it also feels like no progress. Like, it has been the same day over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Literally.
Usually time is linear, if nothing else. But you've been drawing something different every day from what I've seen.
Yeah. It's weird. I would have liked to see the drawings I did earlier this week. Well, the other
they're
today's.
gone.
They're gone. But that's okay. I think maybe at least I'm getting better at this.
Maybe. I hope so. Maybe there's something to be said for making something even though it doesn't last and it still having been worthwhile.
I think we actually see Fifer smile at that. And thank you for the coffee.
Yeah, of course. If I see you again today, tomorrow, then I'll say hi.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Do you think that ended positively?
Yeah.
I think so. I believe it is Carmen who reached out, so go ahead and roll a d4.
Yes. That's a 4 again.
Wonderful. Take 3 more tokens. 5 Power Rangers run by. 1 black, 1 blue, 1 yellow, and 2 green ones that seem to be fighting.
The 2 green ones are fighting, and they start to actually get a little physical and push him off of the street and into a puddle on the road, where from pants down he's soaked. And the kids are apologetic, of course, although still self-centered on this argument of who should be Tommy. But Oliver kind of squeaks into the diner. Oliver looks at his booth. He's actually about to sit down, and then this like elderly Korean couple like just coughs, and he realizes, oh shoot, sorry, excuse me. He walks over. It's actually pretty packed today, and he sees that there's a spot potentially with people that he's seen regularly. So he walks over and says, with his like soggy Ankylosaurus costume, and says, I am so sorry. This place seems a little bit more full than usual, and I need some space to fix this. Do you mind if I just like scooch in and like hang out in this booth with you two?
It's her table.
Fifer looks at the agoraphobic person that came to sit with her, but with that she says, sure.
Okay,
that's
awesome.
fine.
Sorry, I just got pushed into puddles. So he's starting to like squeeze out his his like white button up. You can see a lanyard hanging from his neck that says Dr. Oliver Mexino. And he actually scooches up beside Carmen and just kind of sits and says, hi, my name's Oliver. I've seen you two around. I guess you're regulars here as well.
Not normally this regular, but nice to meet you. I'm Fifer.
Carmen has to like pause for a second.
As Carmen pauses to gather up her courage, Maddie comes by in her outfit. She has got a towel around her neck, and she kind of like snaps it over to Oliver, and then turns around, grabs 2 mugs of black coffee and slides them in front of Oliver.
He literally takes one in each hand, and he starts sipping from both and puts it down. And turns back to the two of you.
And she winks at Carmen and says, your hot chocolate will be right out.
Thanks, Maddie. I'm Carmen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm sorry, am I in your space? Am I a space invader?
No. It's fine. This is good. This is, I think, my I don't remember what it's called. My therapist would probably call this you know, when you're scared of something, and so you do the something so that you can get used to that thing. I don't remember what it's called, but this, yes.
Yeah, I don't either. My dad used to say just jumping in the deep end. Maybe that's kind of how it feels. Maybe?
Back on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a horse jumping into the deep end of a pool.
Ah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But you can stay.
Okay. Thank you. I just need space to kind of fix this thing. And you see the soggy Ankylosaurus costume that's ripped up, and you see like the bulb at the end of the tail is detached, and it seems a little bit worse for wear. I've been really focused on this costume, but I'm pretty sure I've seen you two around. You've been drawing. What have you been drawing, Fifer?
Still lifes. I've been drawing something different every day.
Cool. Can I see? I love drawings.
Sure. Today she's been drawing like a couple like fallen leaves, and maybe they're actually like there's one on the counter. It's like an oak leaf, which actually just basically goes straight to brown very quickly. Yeah, and she shows you that. She said, I would show you more, but this is the only most of the sketch pages in here are blank still.
But you draw every day.
Yeah. But I haven't had that many days or a lot of this.
We were just talking about that, actually.
Oh.
Have you noticed anything weird lately? Like the vibe?
Yeah, this costume doesn't really get... It feels like I work on it every day. It's not really
You have.
improving. But,
I think I've seen you sew that, like, left knee every day in here.
yeah, that one definitely is a pretty scuffed up side. But it's strange because some things stay, and he turns it over, and you see like a happy face sticker, just kind of underneath the costume. Here, do you mind? And he takes the sticker off, and is gesturing to your sketchbook to put it on.
As she slides it towards you.
Great. And he puts it on and says, I haven't seen very many drawings of leaves, so I gotta say, this is the best I've seen. And he puts the happy face sticker on it.
Thank you. It's a nice practice for organic shapes and straight lines at the same time.
He has kind of like a slightly vacuous look. he's just kind of smiling and nodding. He sits back down and says, drinking both of his coffees at the same time. He kind of waits for Carmen's hot chocolate to arrive. And as he's working, he kind of says out loud, not to anyone in particular, but he says, a hot drink and something soft always makes me feel better. And he kind of repositions the costume so that like the sweet Ankylosaurus face is like near you, Carmen. He's like, I need to get this left side is brutal, and he's kind of like nudging it closer to you.
There's like this urge in Carmen to like pat the head, so I think she does do that. Like with a very like kind of shy hand, she like reaches out and kind of like touches it to feel how soft it is.
It feels as soft as somebody's deep care for someone.
How do the two receiving people feel that ended? Positive, neutral, or negatively?
It was positive for Carmen. Yeah.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll a d4 -1.
Awesome. So 2 minus 1 is a 1.
Yeah. You take 1 token. Outside, 2 minions run by.
Valerie is going to withdraw tonight. She sits down at her usual table and takes out her planner, infuriatingly blank again. And she pulls out her little folder full of sticker sheets. And she opens it up, and maybe Maddie, who's walking by or something, sees that. Yes, you see the smiley faces, you see the ghosts and the pumpkins, and you see one that has a bunch of little witches and one that has a bunch of like cute little chibi vampires on it. And you see one that has a bunch of little witches faces with a green skin and she looks at the page. Today is the 31st and the week starts November 1st. She looks over at the conversation that's happening at the counter around the costume. And she thinks about how Carmen said she doesn't like Halloween. and all of that, and really it's over anyway after tonight. And she didn't have anything to do tonight anyway. That's why she's here. That's why she picked up that shift. And isn't it just exhausting? The person that she took over for was complaining that they had to take their kids to the trunk or treat, and they didn't even really want to. They didn't want to spend that time having to deal with those other parents and worrying about the allergies and the candy and all of that. And she'll just take some generic heart stickers to decorate this week's spread, and she puts in her goal list that starts with get your steps in.
You will neither gain nor lose tokens, but your connection die ticks down by 1.
Let's be ambitious and keep going. So I have 2 tokens. So calling on my connections to attempt a significant move towards happiness. I think that is already showing through how she's trying to be engaged in conversation instead of just sitting by herself.
Roll for me.
Okay, 2 3s. Yay, partial success.
So, your connection die ticks up by 1. What is the complication as you remember what's been going on that brings you here?
I think there's still the tinge of I'm not spending this with the people I thought I would, and it's still even when you have something nice to do when plans have changed, it's still kind of sad that you had hyped up yourself to do something big and you have to cancel it. And so I think that maybe there is still the I don't get to do the Halloween party. This is the biggest night for that kind of event, and I'm still not getting to do that, and I'm still drawing in the same notebook, and I don't get to see any of my progress that way, even if I do feel like my comfort with sketching is going up. It's not changing, but it's still great. I still actually had conversations with real people tonight who decided to talk to me, which is nice to be reached out to. So she'll keep going.
Maddie sidles up at one point with a black tea and takes a look at your drawing and says, "I think that's the best one yet." Maddie comes out from the back in a giant lobster costume, including the pincers on each hand. This is, I want you to picture a giant, full-on lobster costume. Oliver, what would you like your action to be?
I want Oliver to withdraw. I think he's in his booth. The sewing kit is strewn open. All the contents of the sewing kit is strewn across the table, and then this costume is just not improving. The tears and holes still remain. He doesn't remember or think to his mom and the lessons that she gave him, but rather thinking back on that boy who's holding the Ankylosaurus club and a tail in his arm and a pillow full of candy on the other arm, trying to navigate the dark, heavy rain. He knows this isn't the right way. He's confident, but rather than going back or asking for help, he pushes forward. He gets to a point where there's this kind of narrow bridge. It's supposed to be 1 lane on either side, but they made it 2 and 2. He recognizes it and realizes that there's a bus stop on the other side that you could probably take, and that'll get him home. So he starts to walk over this bridge. And it just happened so fast. It was bright and then cold. The rain, there was no view through the veil of rain. It's just water now. The bag is heavy, so he tries to let it go so he can make his way up, but the club tail is really heavy. Oliver comes back to where he's at, water dripping from his hair. And he just sits.
2 Red Rangers and 3 Blue Power Rangers in a joint, like Siamese twin suit go by. You hear the clatter of 2 pincers putting down 2 black coffees for you.
Oliver looks up to you and says, "Thank you. Yeah, I get that you want to keep the pincers on, but sometimes it's better to have a more usable costume, Maddie."
Yeah, I guess I'm trying something new today.
I'm going to reach out to Maddie. Because sitting at the counter, Valerie heard that advice. And she looks up from her stupid planner that she hates. Goes, you know, if your boss or whatever is like letting you dress up like this and you're having fun with it, you're clearly having fun with it. I mean, you've had a different costume every day this week. Probably. They've just been getting more elaborate. You're having fun with it, right? Why you can do your job just fine.
She looks at you with a little bit of puzzlement, as if yesterday was October 30th and today is October 31st. But then she pauses and looks at you. Maybe your first goal shouldn't be to get the steps in.
It's the one that's the easiest to achieve with the number of hours I work, you know? But you should, if you're having fun figuring out different outfits to wear and stuff, like, don't let them ruin that for you, okay?
Don't worry, I don't let anyone ruin things for me. What if your first goal was to find a reason to smile?
Come on, that's a good idea. She already wrote "get my steps in," and so she makes that number 2.
I feel positively about that.
Well, I'm glad somebody does. Maddie wasn't the one who needed to hear what she had to say, is the thing. And so the fact that she said it is positive, even if emotionally she's not doing great. I rolled a 4, which feels wild.
Awesome. Take 3.
5 tokens right now. That feels wrong.
I'm wondering if I can also do a bit of a hybrid thing where I keep going, but I want to chat to Oliver.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it could go really well, or it could go really bad. Okay, so that's a 4, a 3, and a 1.
And it is the highest number, so you feel heartened by your bonds. Your connection die ticks up by 2, so I think that puts you at a 4 max, which is awesome.
Yes.
Share a little bit of that keep going energy with Oliver.
Now that she's met everyone, Carmen sort of does the round of walking around to everyone and saying hi, like, hi Val, hi Fifer. And then she like goes to say hi to Oliver and just sees the state of him, I think is the best way to put it. Like 2 coffees untouched, which, you know, she doesn't know him very well, but based on how many times she's seen him, he's usually pretty, you know, down about the coffee. That's why he gets 2. And so I think she sort of walks up. Do you mind if I sit?
He looks at you. You have this like empathetic moment where you realize he doesn't want to respond, and then he realizes it's you, and says, "Oh, yeah, of course. Hey, Carmen. Hey."
And she's gonna slide in across the table from you. Still working on the costume, huh?
I guess you can say that. Yeah. It's just not really. How do you deal with not making progress?
Can I be honest with you, Oliver?
Sure, yeah.
Not very well. But I think that's part of it. A lot of the times I feel like your costume, all the holes and the parts, and you know, you try to sew them back up every day, and just nothing seems to really work. But the costume was whole once, you know, and even if you sew it up, it's never going to be the same again. It's always going to have been torn. But the trying is important. It's as important as succeeding. The trying is more important, I think.
But I tried so hard. I'm trying to do something I don't know how to do. And he looks at his fingers, and they're all like bloody from the pokes and the needles and the sewing. And he says, I have to fix this. Sorry,
It's okay. You're much braver than I am. I'm terrified of needles, all sorts of needles. We should probably get you bandages or something from Maddie.
No, it's okay. He gets some napkins and puts it over his fingers. And he says, sorry, that wasn't about you. You are way more brave than you give yourself credit for.
I'm trying. Right? I mean, the first time we did this, and she gestures broadly to the whole diner, I didn't talk to anyone because I was so scared. And I only talked to Val because I saw her talking to Fifer, and then you just came up to the table, and that was good, because I don't know if I would have been brave enough to talk to you if you hadn't just sort of shown up. But I don't know. I'm not really good at this. I guess I just wanted you to know that I understand, and that you're not alone. Even though it's easy to feel like you're alone, you know, even with a whole diner full of people around you.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like I'm just sinking, you know? But I think what's cool is that, I don't know, in this costume, I think what's cool is that we can be not complete, that we can be in progress together.
Yeah. And, you know, even though it's like this right now, it's really clear that you care a lot about it, and that matters too.
Yeah, so I think she will try to reach out tonight to Valerie. Maybe she was even sitting somewhere else and then decides to move to sit next to Valerie. I think she just sits next to her and says, "How are you today?"
We're getting through it. We're getting through it, and yeah. I don't know.
I can listen if you want to talk about it.
Doesn't it feel like this diner is inescapable? It's like, even if I called in and found some community Halloween little indie concert or something, I think I'd end up here anyway.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
There is one that's going on. There's like one of those local bands is playing down at the brewery. And I thought about going, but I know there would be, even if I didn't have work, there would be some people who wouldn't be interested in going, and they'd say that it was lame or that they didn't want to put in the effort to dress up or whatever. So, you know.
Well, yeah. She looks down. I think she can't bring herself to say you could go by yourself because she wouldn't be able to go by herself. But then I think instead she says, would you have a Halloween costume if you weren't at work today?
If I knew I wasn't going to be working, I might. But since I knew I was, I just didn't even think of an idea.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's really cool that you have a vibe, right? And like, I know you probably get some like weird looks from old people or whatever. I hear that, and I don't know. I just think if I were to like put in all the effort to dress up more than just putting on a witch hat or whatever, I think I have to have a reason, or people are going to think it's weird, and somebody is probably going to make a comment about it or whatever. So I don't know. I just don't even bother.
That is the beauty about this day of the year. It's literally the only day where people are weird for saying anything about it.
Right? I don't understand why they get so annoyed about it. Oh, aren't you too old to dress up? Well, no.
Is
But
this
people
because
think
of
so.
your job?
Well,
Because you work in a hospital? I guess it is like the one place that you can't do it, but you could do it when you come here.
yeah, no, you wouldn't want to get bodily fluids on a nice costume. That makes sense. But just like, people have to give their 2 cents. They have to explain all the reasons why they don't like it. So,
But why did their opinions matter? They sound like squares.
they shouldn't. You're right. You're right. I shouldn't let it bother me.
Well, I wouldn't say anything if you were wearing a costume. And except maybe, oh, you look cool, or whatever. I don't think people, like, the thing is, when you dress not like other people are gonna be weird about it, but that's on them.
Yeah. I don't think you or me dressing the way we want to dress should ruin anybody's day. And it just makes me mad that it does. And that ruins my day. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get your umbrella?
I drew the lines myself.
That's so cool.
Thank you. It's one of the few drawings I have right now that is staying with me.
Hang on. She will take out her little folder pouch full of stickers and find a spider to put on the web.
Oh, that's actually really cute.
I think that went positively in the end.
Yeah, I think so too.
Go ahead and roll your 1d4 minus 1 to see how many tokens you get.
Right, 1d4 minus 1. 4!
Yes!
I got a 4 minus 1, so 3.
Nice. 3. The curtain rises, purple and orange lights outside, pumpkins on doorsteps, witches cackle. Maybe there's a flutter of bats. And Maddie, at first, there's no one behind the counter. And then eventually you hear a creaking and you hear a whirling. And it looks like Maddie glides out, and you're not completely sure how she's moving because she has an entire mermaid tail all the way down. And she's wearing a seashell bikini top. She's got shells in her hair. Her hair is a sparkling red curls. And you look on the counter, and I don't know why we didn't notice it before, but there is a jar, like a big fish bowl with a yellow and blue fish floating in it.
Valerie sits down at her usual table in the corner and takes out her planner, and starts sticking on little pumpkin stickers. We're gonna roll to keep going.
All right. Awesome.
I have 5 tokens, which feels like too many for this, but That's so funny. My highest is only a 2.
You did say that things could get worse.
Yeah.
For Valerie. So your connection die ticks down to 0.
It's a partial failure. It ticks by 1, but it brings her to a 0, which means she cannot reach out to others. I think she opens up her planner, ready to put the stickers in. And she sees the goals list. Number 1, get my steps in. Number 2, find a reason to smile. And she realizes that since her foot passed over the threshold of the diner, leaving it tonight, she hadn't. She puts a couple pumpkin stickers on tonight, but doesn't decorate the rest of the week. And she'll just pull out her phone and start scrolling.
You lose the ability to reach out with your heart temporarily until you get your connection die to 1 or another player reaches out to you. A giant mech piloted by 5 Power Rangers walks by outside.
Rather than sitting herself at her own table, Carmen is going to start the evening sat with Oliver. And the action I'm going to do is daydream. So the two of them are just sort of existing in this comfortable silence after their conversation from the day before. Sometimes you don't need to talk about your problems. Sometimes you just need to know that someone's there, and Carmen just sort of wants to be there. And it's also been a lot of days of socializing for her. So I think of everyone, it feels like Oliver understands. So that's where she sits herself, and yes, I'm going to daydream as she sips on her hot chocolate. We see a very young Carmen. She couldn't have been older than maybe 10. Her hair was much longer, much more unruly, these sort of thick red curls that still acted as this sort of safety blanket around her even then. But there was this sort of lightness to her that she's only started to regain now. It looks to be around this time of year again. And Carmen is holding hands with another child, a boy, and the two of them are giggling to each other, and he's leading her into the corn maze. And the two of them start to walk through it together, and the boy turns to Carmen and says,
I want to play hide and seek.
But we're in the corn maze. It's going to be so hard.
I want to play hide and seek.
And Carmen relents, this is her friend. So she lets go of his hand, and she closes her eyes, and she counts all the way to 50. And when she opens her eyes, Carmen finds herself completely alone. And at first it's fine. She starts wandering the maze, looking for her friend, calling out his name as she goes, and there's just quiet. Not another soul makes a sound in the maze, and the corn is so tall around her. Unbeknownst to the two children, the maze had been shut for the night. Nobody knew that the two of them were still in there. And the boy had managed to find his way out, But Carmen wandered and wandered and wandered for hours and was horribly lost. She went down a path that was certainly not a path, but she's a kid. She's small. She fits into spaces she's not supposed to go. And everything became a monster. The shadows were too dark, the corn leaves were too sharp, and everything was horrifying, and she was all by herself. And it was hours before the fire department found her. And as Carmen is sitting here in this booth with this new friend that she's made, or at least she'd like to think that they're friends now, they were just kids. It's so easy to hold on to sort of the resentment of feeling like something's been done to you on purpose, that malice of, why didn't you keep holding my hand? Why did you leave me alone? Why didn't you find me? I was so scared. I was by myself. But they were both kids. He hadn't meant to leave her alone in the maze. He couldn't have possibly known what would happen to her and how she would feel. And Carmen makes a note to herself to reach out to him at some point and tell him that she forgives him for what happened that day.
She is dressed for Halloween today, and that she has done a spider web style cat eye liner eyeshadow. She's wearing the full beat of a white foundation. She has her hair up. She's maybe wearing like long opera gloves. Like, she's dressed dramatically as if she were gonna go to a Halloween party, or as if she was going to any party as a goth person. And she's at the diner, and she's just, I think she maybe has tried to sit with Valerie, but she also tried to exchange pleasantries with the quiet table, who are not talking, and she knows that they're two people that don't necessarily like to talk very much. So I think she's gonna try just to hang out with Valerie and talk to Maddie.
Okay, roll. How many d4s do you have?
All right, she has 5. Okay, a 4. We got a 4.
So you feel heartened by your bonds. Your connection die ticks up by 2. Does that bring you to 4?
Yes, it does.
You see Val look up at the table as you approach it, and she looks at what you're wearing and smiles.
Yeah. Yeah, and Fifer smiles back. I think she's realized that, like, she can celebrate this holiday by herself. And, like, she will find new connections to people in her life. Her life isn't over just because the relationships she had before this are not there. She can keep moving forward.
Oliver's been quietly contemplating with Carmen. And then he suddenly just like gets up and pours out his the sewing kits. And he cuts up the Ankylosaurus costume into not into ribbons or anything, but he's trying to make something new. He's doing it as quickly as he can. He's cutting it up, and it's starting to form kind of like a jacket or like a vest with a long bottom part and a hood and a tail. And he's sewing that together as quickly as he can. And then he scoops it up and he grabs Carmen and drags all of us over to where Val is. I'm going to use a reach out to Val. And we kind of like scooch in, and Oliver plops. And he's little bit more like not anxious, but he keeps looking at the clock. And he says, okay. Val, you're a nurse.
Yeah.
He pulls up his corporate badge. It says doctor, but I'm not a doctor.
Right.
Yeah, I
PhD, not MD?
PhD, not MD. Ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a paleontologist. That is the thing that I dreamed about. And I also remember that my dad never wanted me to have coffee. He's like, oh, you won't grow tall. It tastes so bad. And I thought, when I grow up, I'm gonna have as much coffee as I can, because it's awesome. There must be some sort of secret that you're hiding from me. And I love it, and it's awesome. And I love dinosaurs. And I'm really glad I made friends with you three. And I think my time's running out. So whatever is holding you back, you can put this on. It's like armor. And when Val puts it on, you see inside there's a tag that says Ollie M. And in that same moment, Oliver's not sitting. It's a kid. He's about 7 or 8. He has a big pillowcase full of candy. And he says, I'm so glad I met you all. But I gotta get home. Thank you for spending Halloween with me.
Well, at this point, you hear a little bit of a whirling, and Maddie comes up. And she smiles brightly at all of you. And she hands Fifer some loose pages. And Fifer, you look at them, and they're all the drawings that you've made over the past several repeated days. And Val has her armor, and Maddie looks at her. Don't forget to find something to smile about and wear that costume.
She's going to look at Carmen. I was going through my closet earlier tonight, and she's going to glance at where Ollie was. Am I correct in assuming Ollie is gone?
He's not there anymore. There's just a lightly wet spot on the bench.
I think I do have something to wear. Do you think... How about all three of us go introduce ourselves to someone at the concert? And maybe Carmen can wear this? If you don't have a costume?
Oh, then what are you gonna wear?
I think she has just... Because she was planning on going to work tonight. She's texted her boss now. Mm-hmm. She's not going to work tonight. But she did have just a pair of cat ears on a headband in her bag because her scrubs are all black. It works. It was workplace appropriate.
So Maddie reaches out. She reaches into a drawer and pulls out a cat tail and some black eyeliner that can be used to draw some whiskers. And she hands a rock. It's flat. It's kind of like a flat circular disc. It's just got like a couple bumps on it. And whenever Carmen is feeling nervous, she can rub it. It's a worry rock. And then finally, she puts next to the cash register a stuffed Ankylosaurus and waves goodbye to the three of you as you go off to your concert. She's still stuck working the shift in a little motorized thing because she can't use her legs. She's a mermaid. As the three of you walk off, and as Ollie hopefully feels a little bit less alone and a little bit closer to the world, she snaps her fingers, and when the curtain rises, it's November 1st. Thank you all for being here with me. Oh, I have like a little tear. I don't cry easily, so this is a big deal.
Ross will do that to you.
Can you all tell me where we can find you? Ross, why don't you start?
Yeah. Hello again. My name is Ross. My pronouns are he, him. I'm the game master and editor at Blades of Mayari. We are a Filipino-Canadian-led actual play podcast inspired by pre-colonial Filipino mythology. You can also find me on Twitch under Studio Casina, where we stream with an Asian cast or highlighting Asian-made projects or games or things of that nature. So yeah, come find us on socials under Studio Casina or Blades of Mayari, Mayari.
All right. Rosie, where can we find you?
Hi. If you've listened to other episodes of Game Master Monday and their series and stuff, you might have heard my voice before. I'm Rosalie. A lot of people call me Rosie or other nicknames. All my socials are at Rosatyrs, Rosatyrs, like Rosie and the little goat folk, and you smush them together and you get Rosatyrs. You can find me on the Tabletop Tailspinners Network, where I play Sage on Magnificence, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition dark fantasy horror podcast. You can also find me, again, I do a lot of Game Master Monday stuff, and also I've been working with Don't Kill My Character a lot lately. Right now we are doing a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle called Sanguine Scourge, where I'm actually playing an agoraphobic Malkavian. So my heart immediately just melted into goo when I heard that, when Tot said that. So yeah, check out my socials. I do a lot of stuff.
Siobahn, please tell us where we can find you.
Hi, so you can find me at Spellbound Mage on Blue Sky, but more importantly, you can find my podcast, someplacetobe.neocities.org, on Blue Sky, and that's also our website. We are an actual play podcast with an all-queer cast focused on highlighting indie games. We play a different indie game every season, but the special part is we take the same characters into each season. So if you love character creation episodes but get attached to characters, that's the show for you, because we take the same ones over and over. And if you love the confusing psychological situation of reliving similar events over again, guess what? That's what those characters do when they wake up in a new world, in a new genre, with their memories of their previous season, but also memories of a life lived in the new setting that we do. And if you like games where Halloween happens every night in an actual play, guess what? I was on every episode of a series like that on Protean City Comics, which are the longest Halloween episodes. That show is superhero, teenagers, teenage drama, and super-powered angst. So I recommend that show too. It's on indefinite hiatus, but it's very good. So, but if you want something that's not, check out someplacetobe.neocities.org.
Thank you. Tatiana, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky at Talk Coco. You can also follow my podcast, Soul Operator, on all the social medias at Soul Operator Pod. Each season, I play a solo TTRPG, and then I adapt that gameplay into an audio drama. So if you are a fan of audio dramas, reads completely as an audio drama, but if you happen to play through the games that I play on my show, you might get some fun little Easter eggs. We have finished our first season and we're currently in production for season 2, so keep an eye out on that. You can also hear me on a variety of audio dramas and actual plays. I have been on Game Master Monday previously. You can also hear me on channels such as The Hardest Dungeon and Folk and Myth. Yeah, it's been an honor to be here and to play with these incredible folks.
Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Zoop. My mom calls me Supriya. You can find me online as Zoop Machine. I have a card where you can check out what I'm doing. Besides co-GMing on Game Master Monday, I'm also a co-host on Too Legit to Crit, which which we have basically a thing where we talk to each other. The three of us talk to each other about TTRPGs for like an hour on Sundays. I also in the confounder of FOMOCon, which I'm gonna get my butt together and we're going to reprise for PAX U. And so follow my socials to see anything about that, and anything else that I might be in. And I'm so glad that you all joined us for this story. It turned out better than I ever could have hoped. And I'm also really excited to announce that I am GMing November's miniseries, American Demigods. And I hope that you stay tuned for that because it's a really good time. Thanks, everybody.